Hi guys, it's Noemi. JK, it's Elvin. And I'm subbing for my wife while she's working. And I'm here to introduce this awesome collaboration between two wonderful women, my wife and Yenny Morales. Yenny and Danny have been married for 10 years, and her channel is all about slow living. Today we are collaborating and speaking about expectations in marriage. So go check out her page.
Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. This is my first podcast, and I get to do it with my lovely husband, which I'm super excited about. You want to introduce yourself, babe?
Oh, they don't know me?
They know you, but they could get to know you more.
That's true. My name's Elvin. I'm Noemi's husband. I don't like how I sound in a mic, but hey, this is for her.
I like it. You sound really good.
Thank you. It's the mic.
Okay, so Elvin and I, we made 6 months, November 28th. We've been married for 6 months. It does feel like 6 months. I don't think it feels like shorter or longer. What do you think? How do you feel?
Yeah, that's accurate, I think.
Yeah, like it feels like we've been married for 6 months. Yeah. All right. And I asked everyone on my Instagram a couple of weeks ago to ask us any questions about our 6 months of marriage, which, we don't really know a lot, but, just to be transparent with everyone, as a Christian couple, and be like, oh, how is that? 6 months married already
No, we saw like throughout COVID, there was a lot of new marriages. So this is honestly a good way to like show like, hey, if there's any troubles or just similarities like that people go through that, we're not experts, but we're in it. So
yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about our journey. Okay. You ready for the first question?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm going to ask you. All right. Was it everything you expected?
Was what everything?
Marriage.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. No.
Okay. Elaborate on that.
I thought it would be. Ask it again. I need to.
Okay. Was it everything you expected?
No. I would say like I expected a lot of specific things, I guess. You expect what you see from the outside. So you don't, until you're in it, you don't really know.
Yeah.
And that goes for anybody who's like, says, oh, when I'm ready, I'll do it, whatever. But the truth is like, even when you can have all the money in the world, you can have anything. But once you're in it, it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the same.
Yeah.
It's not what I expected. At least like when you come together and live together, it's a whole different thing. You know? There's no escaping like, the situation or any situation.
Any situation. Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you. It's not everything that I expected it to be, because because like you think about, oh my God, I get to live with
a guy,
the person that I love so much. We're gonna have it's gonna be so much fun all the time. It's gonna be like the movies. We're gonna be all romantic and stuff like that. It's not like that.
Nope, it's
whatsoever. Yeah,
it's dirty clothes and
dirty dishes
and cleaning,
a mess sometimes,
all the time.
Yeah.
Well, let's be real. Most of the time, the house is dirty.
Yeah.
Because of whatever your situation is. Like we're in the situation where I do a lot of the housework because you're in school.
Yeah.
But everybody's situation is different.
It's different, yeah. I mean, I don't want everybody to think that Elvin only
No, it's not just me.
I clean.
It's mainly me.
I clean. I wash the dishes. I put the clothes away. I mop. Okay, don't let the people. But you do a lot of the housework. You do, do throughout the week because
of the situation.
When I come out of work, I come home and I'm like I have to log into school already.
Yeah.
And then I come out. I get off really late, or, you know, even though I still have that time, like I'm either working on a paper that I have to do for the next day or whatever. So yeah.
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 Another reason as to it's not what you expected it to be.
Yeah.
You know, in the first 6 months, because
Yeah.
6 months versus, you know, 30 years is a big difference.
Well, it's also the season that we're in, like
Yeah.
the season that I am in as an individual and the season that you are in too as an individual.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like those seasons, how can I say it? Those seasons I have to try to see how we can work this marriage out, right? How we do things, a routine, like, you know what I mean? Does that make any sense to you?
No.
You gotta scratch that thing because if that don't make sense.
No, I'm just kidding. Keep going.
Oh, it does make sense to you.
I think so.
Okay, so like let's say you're in a season of like, you know, something is going on with your life and you're busy. So now it's my turn.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get you.
So this is the season that our marriage is in.
Yeah.
Because of our
It's not a forever thing. Yeah.
Our individual things that we're doing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not a forever thing. Like in our next season, it's gonna look different.
Yeah.
You know?
No,
So,
like right now it's you. The next season it could be me.
yeah.
And seasons doesn't mean like certain years. It's just kind of like the times, you know.
Okay. You ready for the next question?
Yes, go, please.
You nervous?
No.
All right. How has your love grown / changed since marriage? Bum, bum, bum.
Who asked that?
I'm not going to say who asked that. Don't worry, guys. I'm not going to give out your information or nothing like that. So
I can see it on the paper.
well, obviously on the paper. But I'm not going to like air out their names.
No, but now I know how to respond.
No, babe.
Okay, ask me the question again.
No, that's so dumb. Come on.
These mics are new. So
I
it's
like these mics. Okay.
It's very deep
Yeah.
and lovable.
Okay,
Go
stop.
ahead.
How has your love grown / changed since marriage?
For me, it's like playing a video game on an iPhone.
Okay.
So you get the levels that they give you for free. And then you got to pay to unlock it. And when you unlock it, you get everything. So not that love was limited in, you know, dating. But it's, you know, once you have, you know, the freedom to do whatever, like in the hypothetically, like with the game, then you enjoy it a whole lot more. You know, it's like when you're not limited to just one thing, one form, you know, it grows. Like you're able to do more levels, get more X, Y, and Z. But again, it's not that love and singleness or in dating is limited, but in marriage, it's so much more. You know, that's the best way I can compare. I don't know
Like
I didn't
how
know the questions,
but like how like our love has grown. Like your love for me in marriage.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
like that.
like that's how you see it.
That's how I can picture it. Like
Okay.
it's like another level, unlocking something new.
Oh wow, that's really
yeah.
good, babe.
Thanks.
Yeah, I feel like that's really good. I feel like for me, my love has grown more because of the things that I see you do. How you take care of me, you know. Again, like going back to like you doing like a lot of the housework. You know, obviously when you're dating, we didn't experience that. Right. But seeing you, like, no, you wash the clothes, you do laundry. Sometimes there are days where I'm like still on the computer because I'm writing an essay, and you cooked and you wash the dishes. And I feel like that, like my love has grown for you because of that. You know, like all the things that you do. I'm just like, damn, this guy does so much for me. Y yo soy una loca.
Say it louder. A veces.
A veces.
Di que a veces.
But yeah. Has it changed? I think it has changed because it's more of like a deeper love, if that makes sense. Because now we're like intimate and now we're one, it makes it like it makes it more deeper than the love that I had for you when we were dating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, like I think it always changes because it has to change.
Yeah.
Because we're human.
Wow,
so
yeah.
I'm not sure what the statistic is, but it's like every 5 to 10 years, like I think it's every 5 years, like your body changes or cleans itself out. But every 10 years, it's like there's like a character shift in your own self.
Wow, that's good.
So,
every time you talk, I'm like, damn.
yo, I know it's all in me. I'm quiet, but you know.
You have so much wisdom.
Oh, thank you.
It
comes like, with age. You know?
Guys, by the way, if you guys don't know, I am 26 and Elvin is 23.
That's why I said it. Ooh, this was here.
Elvin is 23.
Okay, so I had a very wise person tell me once, like, you got to make sure that, you know, it's not just about like, oh, my boyfriend, girlfriend, I want to be married. You really got to make a choice, and this is marriage, and it's real talk. You got to make a choice on whether you're going to want to love this person 10 years from now.
Yeah.
When this person completely changes and you're just like, who did I marry? Like, can you still choose to love that person?
So like now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, since you've seen me, how I am, like, as living with you, and you know sometimes I get a little bit crazy, you still choose to love me.
Yeah.
Even though sometimes it might be difficult.
I think not yet, because again, we're 6 months in, but definitely in a few years, you know, when kids come, when, you know, life gets tough, you know, that's when it becomes more difficult to say, I love you. You know, that's when it becomes difficult to like make the choice to like, no, I'm still going to choose to love you every day and act on it. You know, it's not like,
well, love is an action word.
Right. Because it's not just in your mind. Like, I love you. No, it's the actions of doing it, you know, daily doing it. So,
The next question. What was the hardest part about the transition, especially living with a man or woman for the first time?
Complete honesty.
Yeah. Have you told me this before? Is this the first time you're telling me?
I don't remember.
I'm scared.
Definitely. Well, from a man's perspective. Definitely the emotional aspect of a woman.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You have told me. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like,
yeah,
it doesn't only mean it's that time of the month, for example, but it's a good explanation as to like, or a good reason, you know, like you really got to set your pride aside to be able to like, you know, really like stay, like stay connected and stay like I don't know how to say it. Like it's the difficult part for me.
for you.
That's that's the difficult part. Because I grew up with basically only women.
You grew up with your grandmother and your mom. Yeah.
But it's not the same because like, I can leave, or it's like, oh, you know, I don't have to deal with it. It's not me. But for me, that was like, oh crap. It goes back to the second question. Like, do I want to, do I really choose to like, continue this? Because, but for me, that was like the hardest, like, okay, setting like pride aside, setting my own ego aside. And like just learning and understanding how to take care of you and also understand you. Like, you know, there's things that are said like are out of context, or like, you know, it's like you're going through a tough time that part of the month.
Well, besides that part of the month too.
You know, so it's like when it lingers into the other days, it's like, okay, now how do you how do you,
because we don't want to just blame it on that time of the month.
But it's definitely like that's when it's like at its peak.
Okay.
But it's the hardest part, but it also requires the easiest solution, which is communication.
You know?
Communication, space when it's needed, but
Yeah.
just talk about it.
Yeah. I remember you telling me like, they say that women go, obviously we go through a lot or whatever, but sometimes like we don't think about the men and what they go through. Like you've told me that before, like you have to deal with, not that you have to deal with me, but
you chose to.
You're choosing to be like, okay, I'm living with you. I'm your wife. You chose to marry me. You have to deal now with the emotions that I'm going through, my mentality of certain things, and sometimes I forget. Like I forget about you and what you're going through and your emotions. I forget about it, and I'm like, damn. Like I feel like I'm only thinking about myself, and sometimes I feel like I don't ask you, like, babe, how you're doing. Sometimes,
Yeah.
Because for me, it's easier for me to share how I'm feeling with you. I mean, whatever with my life or whatever the situation. General, yeah. Like it's easier for me to be like, you know what I'm saying, and you're there and you're talking to me about it. But for you, like you don't give me that kind of like, I'm not upset about that. Like
no, it's and I know most men would agree. It's that's a tough part. Like definitely opening up, and that kind of goes into the question too, like what was the hardest part? It's actually being vulnerable and completely open. So like it's true, like
to the point where like you tell me what you're thinking, you know what I mean? Like
even if it doesn't make sense.
And I feel like the moments that, excuse me, don't put that in the thing. I feel like the moments that we speak, or that I'm telling you, but babe, you're not telling me anything. Like we get into like a little altercation, and then I'm like, but this is how our marriage is gonna be. And then you know what you tell me? You're like, how you gonna help me?
Yeah.
That's what you've told me before, and I'm like,
yeah.
Not that I want to help you, but like just tell me, like so that I can communicate with me, like what is it that you're going through, or you just be like, no, but you're going through stuff. Who's gonna help you? Like you tell me that, and I'm like, all right, I know I'm going through stuff too, but I also want to know like what you're going through.
And I think that depends on the person too.
Yeah.
Well, most people who know me like know that I'm a very giving person.
Yeah, you are.
So when it comes down to like, venting or like even projecting out what's in me, it's difficult. It's very difficult. And I'm sorry that you got to deal with it, but I got to deal with you too. So it's
but
even,
like it's funny because like the moments that I tell you like, babe, for real, tell me how you feeling, like you end up crying.
So when you
do end up crying because like I either like touch you or like we get into like an argument about you not telling me how you feel, and then like I touch you or I give you a hug and you start crying.
Like because it's, I mean, especially in marriage, it's like knowing that somebody's genuinely there caring. And it's not that people take advantage or anything, but again, when you're a very giving person, it's easy to get lost in, I can't get in my head because I have to focus on a deadline or this person needs this or this person needs that you tend to just push it away and like forget about it, but it's still there, so eventually it just comes up.
It just comes
so
up,
it's like don't bottle it up, because the more you bottle it up, the bigger the explosion is.
It's okay, babe.
Yeah, next question. Thank you.
No, it was like what was the hardest part about the transition? I guess for me.
Oh yeah, how about you?
Yeah. Like when I ask you ask me too, okay?
Yeah. I already know the answer, but
you know the answer?
My cleanliness, I know.
Yeah. Like like the
I'm
biggest.
good at tidying up. I'm not good at deep cleaning.
I know. You're
not good at deep cleaning. Because I'm almost never home, and that's okay. Yeah. But whatever.
Is it? No, but again, like the biggest transition for me was just like living with someone else. Living with the person that I love, living with my husband, like that's the biggest transition. For me, missing my family, that was a really big transition. I was just like, oh my God, like I don't live with my sisters anymore. I don't live with mommy anymore. Now I have to do things on my own, right? I have to clean my house now because this is where I live, not mommy, And And then also like the transition of living with you, right? Getting to see how you do certain things, like that's not how you do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's
differences.
yeah.
Which is stuff you can communicate it beforehand,
Mm-hmm.
and that's great. But until you're actually living it out,
Yeah,
it's
that's
like,
facts. Yeah,
that's when it really shows.
Yeah.
Because the day I get home that I'm tired and I don't want to do anything, I could have said all of that before, and we like talked about it. Yeah, that for sure I'll always do this, but when I get home and I'm like exhausted after however many hours, whatever, it's different. Like I was like, nah, like you're gonna have to do that because
it's true. Yeah,
you just don't have like and again, that's only something you experience when you live with each other.
Yeah, and we're still going through that transition.
Yeah,
I feel like another
daily. It happens all the time.
I know it does. I feel like for me, like another hard transition right now that just kind of came up is like finances now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm so used to handling money, like when I was, single, my money on how I used to do it. You did things differently,
Yeah.
And I'm just like, now you kind of have that job of taking over the finances, right? So it's just been that transition has always, like, not always, but, again, we're just 6 months married in. It is not going to, things are not going to be perfect within the 6 months, but that's that's one of the hardest transitions that I feel like is a hard part for me right now as well. That just kind of like came up.
Yeah. No, it's like, I see it, especially because you're two people separate.
Yeah.
Like two people in your singleness, like you spend money how you want or you save how you want. But then it's the coming together. Like, how do you figure it out? How do you pay bills? Like, with us, it was like you weren't the one like always paying bills. Like that wasn't your responsibility.
Yeah.
For me, that was
when we were single.
So like my check wouldn't just go to like my savings. It would be like, phone bills coming up, whatever. It has to be done.
So and for me, I'm like, I was putting my, whatever money that I got, I was putting into the savings. And now that we're married, I'm like, why is it not the same? Why is it not the same? So I be freaking out. You know me. I be freaking out, and you're like, babe, relax. And I'm like, no, we're poor. We don't have money.
And it's a good mentality to have.
Yeah.
But again, it's just finding that middle ground. Between saving, which is responsibility, and also the responsibility of one, being able to live, having a roof over your head.
Yeah.
And like now there's essentials that
that's so true.
Your mom would buy the sponges and the Clorox and palava, like they would buy everything, and then we're just like, oh, I gotta do laundry. You just take it. But you never like put a nickel towards it to understand. Like now we got a whole house to take
toilet
care
paper.
of.
We gotta buy toilet paper.
You see,
that's crazy, yo. Like all these, like even like the littlest things like that. Like just like how you said, like buying toilet paper, Clorox, the dishes, everything. That's so. We'll move on to the next question. And I love this question because I feel like people are afraid to go into this topic, but we'll go into it. Has it been difficult to make the switch from thinking sex is bad while trying to maintain purity before marriage to sex is good inside of marriage?
Let's
be honest. Because I have, like, the way I think about this question, like, I'm going to just say it straight up. You want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So you and I, we were not virgins when we got married. So we didn't lose our virginities to each other. I know. Oh, my gosh. We didn't lose our virginities to each other. We lost it to other people, obviously. So making that switch to like, oh my, so we waited till we were married to have sex with each other.
Yeah.
Even though there was moments, obviously,
of weakness
and yes, of difficult, and it happens.
Yeah.
Like we have to be real, guys. Like it's hard. It's hard, and it might happen, right?
It didn't though. but still, it happened.
I mean, we were close.
Oh yeah,
There were times where we were really close.
that
Yeah.
you know, that's when you gotta bring the fire of the Holy Spirit in and pray, because it's not.
It's human. It's human nature.
It's human anatomy. It's not easy at all.
Yeah, it's not. It's not.
It's something your body desires, and it's a good. That's the thing, and that's where I understand the question, and it gets difficult because growing up as a Christian, me from 4 years old, and up, you know, it's not that you're taught sex is bad, but everything that points to it makes it seem like it's bad. So, okay, if I do it, then there's consequence, so it's bad.
Okay.
And this is me as a kid, like or, you know, like, okay, the Bible says this, so if you do it, it's bad. And
what?
Like
what?
if you have sex before marriage.
Okay.
So if you're constantly beat down with that comment, the same thing like, oh, you're going to hell, or it's bad, it's bad, it's bad. The transition time between knowing that it's bad in your mind to now being good, it's very short.
Yeah.
Like, you know, for people like us, that's a very short time. You know, the amount of time we dated to getting married.
Oh yeah, we dated for a year.
For like a year
and some change.
Yeah, whatever it was.
A couple of months. Yeah.
So that's a short amount of time from like living your whole life as this is bad to now. Like, think about if it weren't us, like two people who saved themselves for each other, and they're in their 20s, 30s maybe. All your life, those 20, 30 years, you've just heard sex is bad. So now in one day, you expect everything to just switch.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't think anything prepares you for that, you know, except for like, you know, of course, premarital counseling and stuff, but that's only premarital, you know? So it sucks that psychologically, like, your head has been in tune to like, no, this is bad, when it's not bad. Yeah. It's just, biblically speaking, it's best for you to wait until
you're married. Until you're married.
Yeah, because it's what you're being saved from. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
So like it's like you can go ahead, but God is only just trying to protect you. You know, it's not like, oh, well, you did this and I'm pissed at you, so you want to help.
It's not like that.
He's trying to protect you from heartbreak, from demons, from like so much that we don't know. Yeah. So for your own good, for your best interest, it's better to wait. Yeah. But the issue is being taught that it's bad because it's not bad, you know?
Yeah. Like, so like that's how you grew up.
Yeah.
With me, it was different though. I didn't grow up
Christian.
You know, Christian. I grew up Catholic. So for me, like the conversations that I would have with my mom is like, my mom would just tell me, you know what, whoever you feel ready to do it with, you do it, you know? Yeah. And that's what I did, right? I was in a relationship, whatever. And, you know, I ended up having sex with this person because I was ready. Yeah. I felt like I was ready, you know? And I always told myself, I'm like, I'm only going to have sex with one person, and that's the person that I'm going to be with for the rest of my life. Like that's because that's what I thought.
The mentality is there. Yeah.
Because, you know, I didn't want to, for me, I didn't want to like have sex with a lot of people, whatever. Because I'm like, no, I don't want to give my body to people, you know, to too many people. So I just want to have sex. But obviously me and the person, we ended up breaking up, and I did other stuff, right? And then you came into the picture, and I'm like, oh no, God, like I really want to wait. I want to, if he is really my husband, I want to wait. I don't want to have sex. Yeah. So that for me, the transition to thinking it's like bad, to getting into like, you know, having sex with you now, it wasn't difficult. I was like, oh, like, finally, this is nice. You know?
So definitely, like, in our standpoint as people who've had the experience. Yeah. It's more of, okay, when? Because you know.
Yeah. Because we know how it feels.
You know, you know the feeling, and it's like, you know how intimate it
Yeah.
is.
But
It's not the same.
yeah, I didn't know I didn't know how it felt with you.
No, obviously.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when we did, when we had sex, it was brand new,
Oh,
It's completely different.
it's refreshing. It's a new
Yeah.
way. Like, it's nothing like your first time. Like,
Yeah.
in our standpoint, like, it's, people always say like, oh, you'll always remember. It's like, honestly,
Yeah.
it's not that you forget or anything. It's that, now that's real. Like,
Yeah.
you didn't do it with shame and guilt after.
Yeah.
You didn't do it with, oh God, I'm sorry. And like feeling all this pressure. Like, you did it like fulfilled with God's promise, God's blessing, your family's blessing, and with your spouse. And and it's like, it's never to shame anybody like beforehand, or to shame like if you've had partners or if you continue to struggle. Like, it's just like, it's so worth it.
Yeah.
Just to have it with that person that God has given you for the rest of your life and has blessed you with. It's worth it.
It's definitely worth it. Yeah. And like everything that you've done before, whatever, like I know for you, whatever you've done before, for whatever I've done before, like that's in the past.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? God doesn't be like, oh, remember that time when,
Lo contrario.
Yeah. It's just like, no, this is this is a new beginning.
Yeah.
This is not with your husband, the person that you're one with.
Yeah.
That intimacy, like it's soul to soul that we connect. Like our souls connect, our spirit connects. When we're, not to say that it doesn't connect anywhere else, like when
course.
we're not doing it, but when we have that intimate moment with each other, it's just like everything is like just
it's
together,
And I heard it like not too long ago from somebody, and it's like God gave you the blessing to the point where you're the only one who can fulfill that need in your wife or in your husband. So it's like, it's a big responsibility, and it's also a big blessing. Like, for you to be the only one to be able to do that to your wife, that's like, dang, okay, like, understand what you have.
Do you feel like the transition for you was difficult or no? Like it was just like
not difficult. I don't think it was difficult. It was more of never try to compare. Like if you're a person who's had like multiple partners, never compare it.
Yeah.
Because it can't be the same.
Yeah.
But that's something you also work on by yourself in singleness. Like you gotta be able to understand, like, look, whether we had our experiences and whatnot, it's like our needs are our needs, and you communicate that with each other, So I can't expect, like, for me to have done something in the past and expect you to now come and perform that, like, that's not how it works. So it's like, it's a whole process of like communication and taking your time.
And we're still going through that process too. Yeah.
I think that never stops.
Yeah.
That, and it shouldn't stop.
Like we're still learning each other's bodies. I'm still learning my body.
Yeah.
You're still learning your body, in that part.
Yeah. So
I feel like we can continue going on to this
but
topic.
Like, I would say, like, going back to the question, it's like, definitely, like, one, pray with your partner, and two, ask the question. Like, and that's a great thing that, like, what you're doing, like, where you had asked, like, oh, if you have any questions, and whoever this person is, that you ask, because if it is a worry or something, like, if say, for example, this didn't answer your question, it's like, that's why we have community, where, okay, let's actually sit down and talk about, like, what's the difference, and what was the, like, that actual experience like, because I get it, like, going from being taught that your whole life something is bad, and then now it's like, all of a sudden now it's good. I've heard a lot of stories of, like, people who freak out the day of, like, because it's like, who the heck is this man? And, like, no, like, I don't know, like, it's a very, very, like, difficult situation, like, to go through. But definitely a lot of it, like, it comes down to trust, like, really trusting who you're gonna marry, really trusting like that person in your hands. And that's in both sexes, like both male and female.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you have to be able to trust that person.
I like that, babe. I feel like this conversation we can continue like
I don't ever
because there's just so many little different topic
layers,
like layers within this topic that maybe one day we'll do like a sex
ed series.
No, not sex ed.
Series. Christians and sex.
Christians and sex. No, but yeah, I feel like this like finances, sex, because I feel like those things
Those
are
are
now.
those are the things that you experience right away in marriage.
And I feel like we don't speak about it enough.
No.
You know what
And
I'm
even
saying?
with
Like,
each
I feel like
other.
sometimes we're like, especially, yo, that's crazy that you said that. Because there was one time I was with like a group of girls and they were talking about, you know, specific sex things.
Yeah.
And I didn't share because I was just like, oh no. Like, I felt like shame because of, you know, something that we were going, like I was kind of like my body was going through.
Yeah.
And so I felt shameful and I'm like, no, I'm not ready. Like, I don't want to share it because like everybody is talking about it, but it hasn't like, you know, it hasn't happened to me. I didn't get that experience.
Yeah.
But it's so true. Like we're so afraid to talk about that topic when it's just like, no, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the struggling, trying to figure it out. Yeah.
You never know who can help.
Yeah.
You know, and
And
like,
one day maybe I'll share, like, we'll share one day.
Like, when that day comes, like, I'll share what earlier that day, like, what I had to learn. And it was simply, like, honestly, it's just educating yourself. Like, you know, like, I'm a person who does not like learning. How do you phrase that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love to learn.
You like to learn.
That's my thing. And if I don't learn,
Yeah.
then I know there's a problem with me.
Yeah.
But that has to be the situation with everybody.
Yeah.
Like,
and like how you said, like,
you have to be open.
You have to be open. Yeah. Trying to see like if there's like Christian men or women who speak about sex too, right?
Yeah.
You obviously like look through their background and all that stuff. Do they believe in the same thing you believe in? But it doesn't always have to be Christian people.
No,
like I follow a person on my social media. Like, she's not Christian. She's a very like obviously she's like kind of like not a celebrity, but she's
a known person
about like sexology, like the stuff that she does with like the stuff that she's teaching other people about sex.
It's
you know,
for the Christians.
Yeah. It's okay to like.
Yeah, it's like there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to over spiritualize it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's good to if you want to. But
yeah, if you like, you should have that conversation with Jesus.
To it, though, you know, like it's anatomy, it's the body. Yeah. So there's things you have to understand, like just to learn.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just like, okay, say you're 30 years old and you've never stepped in a pool. You can't expect to just jump in and start swimming. Yeah. You know. So it's always good to like, okay, go on YouTube. How do you swim? You know. But we can
take swimming classes, guys. Don't
not for sex. Don't do that. But don't sex classes. Well, yeah, okay.
Yeah, babe. There's like sex therapists. Like there's that's many.
Fine,
like,
but not like, you know. All right,
like,
next
you mean
question.
like going to like a therapist?
Okay, no. We're on a whole different level. My mind is somewhere else. You go.
Yeah, but also like one thing I also want to say is. This topic. No, one thing I would like to say is to like pray too about it with Jesus. Like talk to Jesus about it. Like, God, I want to do this with my husband, or I want to do that with my wife. Pray, like don't even be ashamed to talk to Jesus about it. To be honest, like He created this for us to enjoy, and obviously procreate. But yeah, all right.
Next question. Final question.
No, we have 3 more.
Okay, one more. Yeah.
Okay, what is the hardest thing about marriage so far? Dun, dun, dun.
Finances. No, I'm just kidding. What's the hardest thing?
No, for real? Do you feel like it's finances?
No, okay. Hardest thing? Staying consistent.
Okay.
In the things that matter. So communication. Communication, love. Doesn't have to be love making, but love in all aspects. Like, yeah. So staying consistent in those things, because the moment you start slacking in one, then it affects everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah. The hardest part of marriage for me so far in our marriage, right? Because it can mean anything to anyone else and for a different couple.
Yeah.
Whether they've been married a year, 2 years, 20 years, 50 years, whatever, they can say different things because that is the season that they're in. I feel like for me, the hardest part of our marriage is still learning how to still trying to learn to try to get like a routine, you know. Still transitioning, still adjusting.
The adjustment period.
The adjustment, yeah, like that has been really hard.
Yeah.
It's been really hard. And I feel like sometimes I wish we were already like, we know this, we know how to do this, we know how to do, like, I kind of wish that already.
Yeah, but you got the routine already.
Yeah. But yeah, like that's the hardest part is just adjusting still. And I sometimes I feel like I find myself thinking like, oh my, like we've been married already for 6 months. Why haven't we gotten it together? You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, and I'm sure there's people married for 5-10 years who are still like,
yeah,
because again, things change.
Yeah.
You know, nothing's ever consistent.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. So yes, that is the hardest part of marriage.
For you, yeah.
Yeah. For you, it's more of the
just staying consistent.
Yeah,
the consistency.
staying consistent. Okay. Greatest lesson learned and biggest challenge so far in marriage.
Biggest lesson learned.
I think the challenge part we already kind of answered it with the
yeah. Like,
so like kind of so then just greatest lesson learned.
It's been 6 months, so it's hard to say what's the biggest lesson learned. I don't know. Like,
okay.
I feel like it's too soon to answer that
because
I don't.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of things. Obviously, like there's a lot of adjustments, but the biggest lesson, I don't know.
Yeah.
That one I actually don't have like a good answer for.
Yeah. I feel like the biggest lesson learned for me is putting my big girl pants on, you know, and just
doing what you got to do.
Doing what I have to do as a wife.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like I don't do a good job being your wife, because I do prefer to do certain things and like say for example like cook or clean.
Yeah.
Like I want to do those things, but because of school.
Yeah. Well, again, it's a circumstance, and like
I mean, I don't know if that's like a lesson learned, but no, like but going back to putting my big girl pants on and just like, all right, Noemi, sometimes there's times where I have to be quiet and just listen to you, you know, and stop. Sometimes I just be like, I have to think about choosing my battles. So those are kind of like mini lessons. That's
what I was gonna say. There's like, I can't really point a big lesson, or the greatest lesson. Like there's always like mini ones. Like, okay, cool. Now I know that for next time.
Yeah,
you know, stuff like that.
Yeah, but it's true. I guess like you said, like there hasn't been like a big lesson learned yet.
Yeah,
we've just been learning little lessons here and there
to better ourselves, better communicate, all that.
Yeah, I like that. Little lessons. Top 3 things for a relationship and or marriage to last.
Communication. Jesus.
Okay.
Of course. You need a good foundation. So communication, Jesus, and love. Like, again, love isn't just, my heart. It's like, you know, you can love your friends, you can love your parents, you can, you know, you choose who you want to love. But love is really broad.
Yeah.
So, just loving people in itself, is an amazing way for you to be able to, like, you know, when you find that person. Yeah. I know for a fact, if you're a lover of people, that person, your person that's coming for you, will catch on. Because if you're a lover of people, then who wouldn't be attracted to that, you know? What are your 3?
And that's what I feel like I love the most about you.
What?
Because you're a lover of people, even though it's difficult to love people.
I don't like people. I really don't.
And sometimes I'm just like, babe,
it's an introvert side where it's like, I don't like clicks. I don't like people. It's
yeah.
Like my preference a lot of the times is to be alone, with my computers or whatever. But recently being married to you, like, or even in our dating like season, like that's changed a lot.
Yo, I feel like we've switched. Like I'm more quiet now when I'm around people, and tú hablas y tú no te callas ahora.
Yeah, but
like it's so weird. Like we really did. I feel like we switched. Yeah.
Well, it's stuff that we poured into each other.
True.
Like,
yeah.
Because you were in a period where, like, before we like got married and dated and stuff. Your character was very like you were in everything.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
And it's like you would, and I'll ask, like, what'd you think before you spoke back then? Like, would you like just like?
I would just talk.
Yeah, you would just talk.
Yeah, without, okay.
But now it's like, you take a step back and like, you actually think for a second. Like, oh, like you said, like, you choose your battles. Because if you had the same mentality, then, we'd just be arguing all day.
All the time, yeah.
Or you'd be arguing and I'd be quiet.
Sometimes
which would be...
Yeah. Well, but you're tired of me talking sometimes. And I'm tired of myself listening to me.
You're tired of listening to yourself. It's like... I mean, the moment you get tired of listening to yourself, it's just like, okay, yeah. Like,
yeah. But that's like that whole different topic. All right. The top 3 things for relationships.
How did we get into that? Okay, doesn't matter.
Know.
Go.
Okay. It's top 3 things for me. The first one, and this is oh my God, is the most important one. Forgiveness.
Oh.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say that. I thought you were going to say forgiveness.
No, I don't think about it.
Yeah. So it's forgiveness, communication, and sex.
The 3.
Forgiveness, communication, and sex.
What was the question again?
Top 3 things for a relationship and or marriage to last. But I'm speaking more of the marriage. But you're in a relationship where you're married.
No.
Like,
I'm just trying to remember the question.
Yeah.
Forgiveness. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's true. Forgiveness is the hardest one.
For me, it was before.
Still, it's like it's hard.
You feel like it's hard for you to forgive me?
No. I just think it's
like, what do you mean?
It's very difficult for, like, in this generation to forgive.
Oh no, yeah, definitely, yeah.
I think forgiveness is a tough one to do.
Yeah, but I feel like for me, it's
no, for sure.
Not that I'm saying that like, oh my God, it's the first, but it's just like that. For me, it's important because of, I guess, what I've been through in the past.
Yeah.
Because I used to hold grudges. I used to never forgive anybody. Like I would hold grudges like 2-3 years long, and I'll be like, nah, blah, 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 whatever. But it wasn't until God, like in my singleness, was when that, like, God had to tell me, you need to learn how to forgive.
Yeah.
I forgave you.
Yeah.
Forgive yourself now and forgive others, So that was that forgiveness. So I feel like now we're and like, even when we were dating, I was like, nah, if I'm going to be in my next relationship, I asked God, help me to learn how to forgive when someone like hurts my feelings, or like, for example, for you, if my husband hurts my feelings, or if, we get into an argument and he got me upset, like, Jesus, show me, like, please help me to learn how to forgive. And I am so happy that God broke that chain, like, for real. Because if the old Noemi was in this, no, babe, like, it was bad. Yeah. So for me, like, that's why.
You're already difficult. So.
Yeah.
Imagine dirt. No, it's true.
Imagine, but, like, God knows everything,
No, forgiveness is definitely, like, that's true.
Yeah. Even though, like, whatever, when we have, like, difficulties, or when we're arguing, or, like, let's say you did hurt my feelings or whatever, like, obviously we take our space, but we always come back, and we always, like, I know I apologize to you.
Yeah.
And
that's important. That's especially important in marriage, but but it's a positive. It's a good thing to practice in dating. Like,
no, definitely.
Like, that was my thing. Like, all right, if I'm sure that I'm going to marry you, then I'm going to practice marriage with you.
Yeah.
Like, because this way, like if it doesn't work out, there's still a way to get out of it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. We're not tied down. Well, we weren't tied down to
You're
each
not
other.
tied down
Yeah.
So you gotta like, I think it's important if you're considering a future with this person, then you don't have to like audibly say it, but like, actually practice the things that marriage entails.
Yeah.
Because when you come into it, it's not as bad. Like it sucks, especially when you don't have any premarital counseling. Like, that you step in and you're still like dating, and it's like, nah, I'm leaving, and then
we can't
where
leave.
you gonna go?
Yo, that's mad funny.
My bed is here. Like,
I'm comfortable here.
Sí, alguien se va a tu tema.
But yeah, forgiveness, communication, and sex.
Yeah.
Because I love sex.
I know.
I love having sex with you.
Okay, thank you. That's it. Thank you. We all got it. Just,
Another topic.
Yes. That's for the series.
I like that.
Okay.
So guys, we are done. We will be having go say it, babe. Part
Ducks.
Part 2. We will be having part 2.
Yeah.
I pray and I hope that I don't know, it's not like an advice video, but
no, like that your questions were answered.
Yeah.
Or if you had any like interest, any doubts, or even if it brought up like an agreement or a disagreement in your head, but like that definitely it was a conversation to like pick at your brain a little. Like, I never thought about it this way, or I don't like that, or whatever it is. It's just like it's more for yourself to like just evaluate a little. And if you need the advice, then
and also
there.
just like so that you guys won't feel alone. I think that was my biggest thing about this podcast, and like why I asked people to ask us questions, because we need to be a little bit more transparent, especially within the Christian community, especially in marriages that, we're young still too. Like we're a young couple, I don't think we're old, but
no,
we're a really young couple. And I just feel like these are things that that has to be spoken about, because it's not being spoken about,
And I'm not going to sit here and say like, okay, 1 year we're going to do it. 5 years we're going to do this again. 10. But why not?
Yeah.
Why not have people who have started from 6 months, 1 year, 5 years, 10, like, and even be like, have people, again, we never stop learning.
Yeah.
So the best thing is to learn from each other, especially, like in our perspective, it's like, why not have somebody who just hit 10 years and we just hit 1 year, like, and sit down and have this conversation, because there's people who either are too shy or don't have the means to be able to speak about it. So, and it's YouTube, so there's millions of resources. But hey, if you stumbled on this one, thank you.
But
because this one's
the
good.
Main resource is Jesus. Yeah, because we could talk.
Yeah,
and we could.
And then that's the thing. It's like as long as everything we say is influenced and correct by His word, then we're only doing His work. You know, in this, and it's again, it's always spreading the gospel.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. All right.
Excuse me.
Oh my gosh.
I've been holding that in since the beginning.
All right. We love you guys. Watch out.
Okay.
Yes. Watch out for part 2. Because guys, there were so many questions. These were only 7 questions that we picked.
You picked.
Oh.
I didn't know the questions walking in. You did.
Well, babe, I didn't think.
That's
like
true. Okay.
I just wrote them down. I'm like, okay, we're just gonna answer these. But part 2 will be about singleness, because I feel like there's really good questions also about singleness. I really want to speak about your story of singleness, my story of singleness. As being Christians or whatever, being young. So yeah, watch out for part 2 for that, and we will be answering more questions as well. And thank you for watching, guys. Remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Right? Yes, those are the 4
she
things.
Got the YouTube mantra down.
Yeah, you already know.
YT what?
No MEG.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, still G, right?
I'm sorry, babe. I'm not gonna change it.
We'll figure it out. You know?
No.
We'll talk.
It
That's
just doesn't.
that's the
Wait.
communication part.
It just doesn't sound right, like Noemi J.
Yes, it does.
No, it